Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I'm Sesha Vidya, working as Associate Professor in the Department of ECE at RMK College of Engineering and Technology. So today we are going to discuss the fifth unit in the transmission lines and RF systems. So in this first we are going to discuss about the basics in what is RF signal, what are the properties, what are the advantages, applications, and why we go for the RF signals. So this is about the So this fifth unit is RF system design concepts. So which consists of active RF components. So which includes semiconductor basics, bipolar junction transistors, even field effect transistors. And in that we'll be studying about what is RF design, that is basic concepts of RF design, mixers, low noise amplifiers, voltage controlled oscillators, power amplifiers, and etc. And finally we are going to consider about stability considerations also. So in today's session we are going to discuss the basics alone, that is what is RF signal, what are the properties, why we go for the RF signal, and what are the applications of RF system. So and then we'll start with the stability criteria. So first let us discuss what is radio frequency signals. So as we know that electromagnetic waves are nothing but which are generated when electrical signals passes through a conductor. So we know that this is the electromagnetic wave. So this electromagnetic waves start to radiate from a conductor when the signal frequency is higher than the audio frequency. Obviously, that audio frequency is in the range of 15 to 20 kilohertz. Okay. So because of this radiating property, we can say that the signals of higher frequencies are known as radio frequency signals. So this is about the radio frequency which will have the range above the 15 to 20 kilohertz. So that signals are called as radio frequency signals. So next let us discuss what are the properties of RF and microwaves. So let us consider the first property. An important property of the signal at RF range is nothing but, and that is at higher frequency microwave frequencies, it's a greater capacity to carry information. So this is mainly due to the large bandwidth which is available at this frequency. So that is why we go for this RF signals. And the second property is that it's in that is the way which it travel by a line of sight. That is very much like the traveling of light rays. Now we can say that unlike lower frequency signals, these microwave signals are not bent by the ionosphere. So this is the second important property. And the third property is nothing but it's a very important property and which will be used in that there is military applications, especially in the radar systems. So the concept of this radar is based on radar cross section, which is effective reflection area of the target. That is, microwave frequency is the ideal signal band for the radar applications. That is the third property. And fourth property being, and there is a fourth important property is nothing but since we know that the molecular, atomic, and nuclear resonance of conductive materials and substances when exposed to microwave fields. So this is also one of the important property of the microwave. This property creates a wide variety of applications. For example, because almost all biological units are composed predominantly of water, and water is a good conductor, we know very well. So due to this reason, and we can use this microwaves, that's technologies in different fields like directions, diagnostic and treatment of biological problems, or even that medical investigations and so on. So this is about the properties of RF and microwave signals. About why we go for the RF signals. So what are the reasons why we go for RF or microwaves? So as I told you, it has wider bandwidth due to its high frequency range. And second point is that smaller component size, which leads to smaller systems and more available and less crowded frequency spectrum. Next we'll be considering about what is the frequency spectrum for this RF signal. Anyway, next one is better resolution for radars due to the smaller wavelength, lower interference due to the lower signal crowding. Next one is higher speed of operation, and finally we say final thing is higher antenna gain possible in smaller space. So these are all the main reasons why we go for the RF or microwaves. So next comes about RF spectrum bands. So these are all the name or band, and this is the abbreviations, and this is the frequency range for each and every band. So it starts from very low frequency to the extra high frequency range. So this is the frequency range for this RF spectrum bands. So next one is RF or microwave applications. So we'll just consider what are the applications generally. And here this communication. The first application is the communication. So this application includes satellite, space, and even long distance telephone, cellular, that is a cellular telephone, data, mobile phone, and etc. So there are two important subcategories of applications that need to be considered in the communication application. One is TV radio broadcast, the other one is optical communications. So this TV and radio broadcast is nothing but in this application, this RF or microwaves are used as the carrier signal for audio and video signals. The best example is that DBS. So what is a DBS? Is nothing but direct broadcast system, so which is designed to link satellites directly to the home users. So that is the main application of this TV and radio broadcast. So second comes optical communications. So in this application, this microwave modulator is used in this transmitting side of low loss optical fiber with a microwave demodulator at the other end. So microwave modulator is used in transmitting side as well as the demodulator used in the other side. So this microwave signal acts as a modulating signal with the optical signal as the carrier. So here the current applications of this optical communication includes telephone cables, computer network links, and low noise transmission lines. These are the best example for the optical communications. So next comes radar. So as we know that this application includes air defense, aircraft, ship guidance, as well as smart weapons, weather and collision avoidance, and so on. So that is about the radar. Next one is navigation. So in that navigation, it is used for orientation as well as guidance of aircraft specifically, as well as in the ships. Okay, so the particular applications of this navigation includes microwave landing system, that is MLS, and global positioning system, GPS. So this, what is that microwave landing system is nothing but, so which is used to guide aircraft to land safely at airports. That is the main advantage of this MLS. The main purpose of this global positioning system is that it is used to find one's exact coordinate system, that is the coordinates on the globe. So that is the main purpose of GPS, as we know very well. And next one is remote sensing. So in this application, many satellites are used to monitor the globe constantly for weather conditions, meteorology, even that soil moisture, agriculture, and so on. So which is also used to find out the snow thickness and icebergs and so on. So that is the main purpose of remote sensing, so that can be used in the natural resources. So next comes the domestic and industrial applications. So this application includes microwave ovens, so that is the home appliances what we are using nowadays. So this includes microwave ovens, microwave cloth dryers, fluid heating systems, that is automatic door openers, automatic that is a toll collections, even the highway traffic monitoring system, and so on. That is power transmission, space, and so on. So that is the main that is applications in case of domestic as well as industrial applications. So next comes medical applications. So this application includes selective heating, heart simulation, sterilization, and imaging. That is the main applications of that medical field. And next comes surveillance. So this application includes, as we know, that it's in security system. It is also called as electronic warfare receivers to monitor the signal traffic. So that is the main advantage of surveillance. Next one is astronomy and space exploration. So in this application, here we'll be using that is a gigahertz dish antennas that can be used to monitor as well as collect and also to record the incoming microwave signals from outer space. So which provides the vital information about the other planets, stars, and other objects in other that is galaxies. So that is possible by using that is a dish antennas, gigantic dish antennas. This is possible. And the last one is wireless applications. So as the name implies, wireless application, it is also called as short distance communication, and that is inside as well as between the buildings in a local area network. So that can be possible by using this wireless applications. So for example, connecting building via cables, for example coaxial cables or fiber optic cables, which creates a serious problems in the metropolitan areas, because the cables has to be run underground from the upper floors to one building to the other. So this problem that can be avoided by using this wireless applications, that is by using RF and microwave transmitter receiver systems. So this problem that can be eliminated basically. So that is the final wireless communication, wireless applications. So next comes parameters. So far we discussed this what is RF and microwave frequency. Next we are going to see that what are the parameters that can be used for this high frequency range. So basically we'll be using that Z, K, H and ABCD parameters. So that can be used for any two-port networks. The main purpose is that nothing but to find out the net voltage and net current, and also to find out the short and open circuit terminations. So there are simple observations that has to be noted down, and one is nothing but short and open circuit terminations are difficult to implement over a broad range of frequencies. So what's the conclusion is that it cannot be used to characterize the networks. And the second observation is that at high RF or microwave frequencies, the net voltage or the net current is a combination of two or more voltages. That is, two or more voltages traveling waves. So based on these two observations, we can just come to the conclusion that the Z, Y, H and ABCD parameters that cannot be accurately measured at these high frequencies. So therefore it is necessary to consider a special parameter, okay, particularly for this RF and microwave frequencies. Okay, so therefore the concept of propagating or traveling waves are used to define the network parameter. So that network representation of this two-port network at high frequencies is called scattering parameters, or simply we can call it as S parameters. So when cascading the number of networks, 2 or 3 networks, a variation of S parameters called chain scattering parameters, and that parameters are also called as T parameters. So that can be used to simplify the analysis. So the conclusion is finally at RF and microwave frequencies, we are going to use the S parameters, which are also called as scattering parameters, to analyze any two-port networks. So the high frequency S and T parameters are used to characterize the high or RF microwave frequencies. So these parameters are based on the concept that the traveling waves, that is which will see which will give that concept of traveling waves, as well as which will provide the complete characterization of any two-port network under analysis at high frequency range. So this is a representation, S matrix representation of two-port network. So we'll be considering input and output voltages V1 plus, V1 minus, V2 plus and V2 minus. So we'll be considering two-port network, and Z0 is nothing but characteristics impedance. So we are going to consider about these parameters. So to define this S parameters, we should consider the phasor voltages, and that is a phasor voltage in terms of incident and reflected. So we'll be considering that Vi plus is nothing but it's an voltage phasor incident on, and Vi minus is nothing but it is the voltage phasor reflected from the terminals of two-port network. So this I represent, it may be 1 or 2, that is first port or second port. So here we will be representing in terms of scattering matrix, and it is also defined as to describe the linear relationship between incident voltage wave phasor matrix and the reflected, or we can call it as transmitted wave phasor matrix. That is, we will be considering it as Vi plus and Vi minus at any of two-port network. So we'll be just writing that equation V1 minus, we can just represent it as S111, that is S11 V1 plus S12 V2 plus, and similarly V2 minus will be representing like this. The same thing that can be represented in terms of matrix also. So finally we'll be writing in terms of incident and reflected voltage, V minus is equal to S into V plus. So V plus, and here it is V1 minus and V2 plus, and here we'll be considering it as here. And finally, you can just define that each and every parameter S11, which is also called as input reflection coefficient when output port is terminated. And second one is nothing but S21, which is nothing but forward transmission coefficient, and when output port is that is output port in terminated in matched load. Next one is S12, which is nothing but reverse transmission coefficient when the input port is terminated with a matched load. And the last one is S22, which is nothing but output reflection coefficient when input port is terminated in a natural. So likewise, we can able to find out each and every parameter from S11, S21, S12 and S2. So this is about reflection coefficients. Next one is advantage of S parameter at high frequency. That is why we just consider that S parameter. What are the advantages? So obviously S parameters which provides a complete characterization of network, and second is nothing but that is which will use that open or short circuited conditions, so which will avoid the strong reflections. And the third one is nothing but the S parameters require the use of matched loads for termination, and because the load absorb all the incident energy and the possibilities of serious reflection back to the device or sources, that is fully eliminated from this. So this is about the RF signals and why we go for the RF signals and what are the parameters that can be considered while analyzing the any network at high frequency or RF frequency range. So thank you for your patient listening. Thank you one and all.